But if you'd like to start in a little bit of a back bend, for just the first minute or two, we'll put a block. And you can kind of choose the spot that feels good. So I've been kind of playing with kind of like, maybe the middle of the block is like the lower ribs, and that feels pretty nice. But some people like it to be more like in between shoulder blades. So you can play with it, make sure the head is still comfortable, make sure the muscles of the back roll open really easily. Just experiment for a couple of breaths. Just feel how it is to take a huge breath cycle when you're all stretched out like this. Especially the abdominal area, super open, super stretched out. Good. So just keep this breath flowing like this for a little while. We're already going to start connecting with our intention for our class. The intention today is all about slowing down a little bit. So much of life in our world right now, this modern world, makes things feel like they have to go faster and faster and faster. And sometimes there's a whole different side of it that comes out by slowing down. That's what we're going to play with today. So we'll start off with really good core stuff that it's actually harder by going slower. It makes your core have to get stronger. And we'll move on little by little, getting into really deep hamstring stretches that are just held longer. So that will be kind of what we're playing with today. Just going nice and slow every step of the way. So with that idea to get us started, we'll begin to just take one more good breath up with this back bend. And then with our exhale, you're welcome to start moving off of the block. So sometimes what I'll do is just roll over like a fetal position, and then you can just push the block away. Keep at least one block within arm's reach for right now. And as your back settles onto the ground again, start to take the knees into the chest. Just enjoying a couple of easy cycles of movement for the knees, for the hips. Kind of tuning into those deeper levels of how our body is right now. And then here, we're going to start playing with the block using core movement. So take one of your blocks, place it in a small height in between your thighs. And that block is not just being held there passively. We're trying to remember to do a slight engagement internally. So slight squeeze in with the block. So with the legs set up like that, set up the knees at least a 90-degree angle, knees right over the hips. Start to spread the arms out left and right. And then let's slowly start to tilt the knees over to the left, and we're gonna stay over to the left. So if your back is kind of aggravated, you can be a lot higher of an angle. Lower means the oblique muscles have to hold you there. So it's gonna be a bit harder. So you would choose the perfect height, one where you can easily maintain for a bit longer. Try to keep the inner thighs still squeezing in. If you want it to become just a little bit more difficult, let the right leg go straight. And if you want it even harder, left leg go straight, squeezing. Hold here for another count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Send the knees right back up through the center. We'll play with the second side. Keep on squeezing into the block. Slowly start to tilt. Choose your angle off to the right. Spot where it's not too hard to maintain. Squeezing. Only if you want more difficulty, maybe left leg straight. Your choice, adding right would be even harder. The inner thigh squeezing. Good, another count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bend the knees. Come right back up through the center, set the block down for a moment. Put the feet just a little bit wider than the mat. The knees can do easy movement, left and right. Good. So take that block again, place it back into the inner thighs. This time both legs will go straight up to the sky. Keep those inner thighs squeezing in. And we're going to do slow crunches. Start with the head, neck, and shoulders lifted already. The hands hovering above the ground. For these slow crunches, try to slide the hands further. Try to hold in that crunch for a moment. Then slowly back away. So 5 really slow like that. Crunching up 4. Middle. Hold. And back away. And release. 2. And back away. Last one. Crunching up. Good, relaxing down, even the head releases, bend the knees, remove the block, let the feet plant. We're taking bridge pose with the block under our hips. So lift up as high as you can, and the block is about as high as it can go. So it might be medium, it might be tall, it's different for everybody. Good. So you'll notice from that last one, it's so much harder to stay and to go slow. That's what we're all about today. So from here, in this bridge pose, let's start to lift right leg up to the sky. We're trying to straighten the leg all the way out. So that might mean you have to back away a little bit. If from the straight leg, you have any more room to try to pull the leg closer to the torso, try to engage muscularly to get that. So legs still very, very straight. Try to pull it in. It's a really deep stretch. It's like this is about the edge of where it can go right now. Good. So take one more inhale. Exhale, right knee bends, right foot plants to floor, and left leg tries to do that reach up to the sky. Find the spot where leg can straighten. If there's any more space to muscularly bring the leg closer, try to explore that range. Breathing. Good. Take one more deep breath in and out. Bend the knee. Foot can go to the ground. Let's lift the block away. When hips go back to the ground, sometimes the sacrum takes a moment to readjust back to this normal plane. So feel free to shimmy the hips left and right a few times. Good. Okay, so block right back into inner thighs. Legs will go up to the sky. And what we're going to do is lower the legs by thirds. So ultimately by the third, it's going to be as low as you can take it without the low back lifting off the ground. So that doesn't have to mean the legs above the ground. That could mean maybe tilting halfway as your third. But thinking of that, about what you think your range is, thinking in thirds, lower your legs down 1/3. Squeezing your thighs together, stay, breathe. Lowering down to second third, breathing. Make sure low back did not arch off the ground. It takes so much more core engagement to keep that low back flat. Go down to the third, wherever that is. Slowly, incrementally increase back up. So go up to the second third. Gonna keep the thigh still squeezing. Up to the first third. And all the way up above us for another 2 breaths. Good work. Remove the block. Set up in happy baby. Grabbing the feet, hopefully to have movement. Kind of that quality of ease back into the body. And let's take a hip opener before we move on. So let's take the right ankle to left thigh, setting up that figure 4 stretch. Set up the hug. Right ankle to left thigh, arms tucking around the left. Just kind of breathing ease into this area. Let's switch sides, a couple of breaths with the left ankle. Side number 2. Good. Inhale. Exhale. And as we release, we're going to try to roll our spine up as slowly as we can to get up. So bent knees is going to be easier because you can grab onto the thighs and use that to help you. Straightening the legs out would be harder if you think your core is good enough to, strong enough to get there. So if the legs are long, I usually like to start off with the arms sweeping up overhead. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, the idea is thinking of one vertebrae at a time. So just the neck lifts. And then you can just lift up to the top of the shoulder blade. Super, super slow like that. Lift off the ground. Eventually rolling all the way up to sit. Yep. And all the way over to stretch over our legs. Take this moment of ease. So sitting upright, let's bring the legs into cross-leg shape. We'll plant a block beside each hip. And the idea here is lifting up just whatever you have. So some of us pressing into the blocks might just be lifting up hips, that's great. Some of us might get the top foot lifted. Some of us maybe hook the bottom foot and lift as well. I'll do a count of 10, just whatever you can do during that time. Even if you're up and down, that's totally fine, just whatever you can do. Come up. This is one of 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Go ahead and drop down into both toes. Let the wrists roll out. Let just the right leg straighten out. Then left arm, 5 times super slow. Take a slow inhale to open the left arm to the left. And then return the left arm forward. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale. 3. 2. 1. Back to cross leg. Pressing up, whatever motions you have, whatever your legs can do, that's fine. If you even want to bump up the blocks higher, that's fine. It's totally up to you. Okay, moving up. Here is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down, back to both wrist rolls. Left leg can straighten out. Right arm sweeps open. Inhale, 5. Return. 4. 3. 2. 1. Okay, last time. Coming into the cross leg. One more count of 10. We got this. I know. Don't worry, it gets a little easier after this. Okay. Whenever you're ready. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Just shake the wrist for a moment. You did awesome. Okay, so let the right leg straighten out. Left leg can tuck into the thigh. The first thing we'll do here is take the block out in front of us. Similar to the thighs, we're not just holding it, we're trying to gently press in so our biceps are lightly engaged. 3 times, lift that bone above our head. And back down. 2. And 1. Good. Now from here, set up your middle finger to be just barely past that curve. Take a huge inhale, sweeping the block right above head, spine very straight. Exhale, see if you can hook the block past the foot. Hold it right there. Good. If ever this feels like too much, you can just bump down to just hands hold the foot. That's fine. A couple of really good breaths. We're going slow through the stretches also. Okay, start to rise up. Switch the legs out. Got 3 cycles, gently pressing into the block. Slow inhale, rise. Exhale, back down. 2. And 1. Block set up, middle finger just wrapping over. Take a huge inhale. Exhale, see if you can capture this foot. So how nice it is to kind of have the block help to pull the upper body forward. Knees that start to rise up. Okay, we're going to take ourselves to a kneeling place. Let's just do a couple of nice slow cat-cows. So sometimes the back muscles, we go really quickly, like we're not really actually having to stretch super slow up. When the belly starts to drop down, go all the way to the point where you feel the abdominal stretch. So we don't go quite that far. Two more, nice and slow. Okay, spine back to neutral. Let's take the right leg back, the left arm forward. So some days this is enough core challenge just to try to balance here. Today, if we're adding a little bit of movement is going to be the arm and the leg swinging up the sides, so left to the left, right to the right, going out wide. So nice and slow, 3 times. Go out as just see how far you can go. It's okay if it's instead of 90 degrees, it's like 10 degrees. That's okay. Back forward. 2 more. Wide. Return. And 1. Good. Hand and knee down. Second side, left leg, right arm. Okay, so the core. Nice and slow. Breathe. Return. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Hand and knee down. Let's take the blocks up toward top of mat. Just slightly wider than shoulders. And we're going to use this to help us with puppy pose. So I like to take the fingers to the floor just past the block so that I can just lower my elbows directly onto the block. Make sure the hips stayed over the knees. Maybe forehead can just drop to the ground. Feel the shoulders open, feel the heart release down with gravity. Head out. What I tend to do is rock my weight forward until my fingers are on the ground again. And then I can press up from there. Scoot the blocks just a little bit wider than that. We're going to keep them for just a moment, but just take a moment with child pose. Feel the heart, the spine relax after that deep heart, the back bend that we just took. At any point when you're ready for a nice downward facing dog, feel free to start exploring that shape today. See how the muscles feel, the legs stretch, movement is fine. Lower back to the knees for just a moment. What we're going to be playing with here is doing downward facing dog with the block, and I'll show you what we're trying to go for. What we're doing is practicing the slow step of the foot through. It's hard to do it without just momentum putting it there. So to go slow, we're adding that couple of extra inches. The 3 things we're kind of thinking of here is we're going to step, say, the right foot through. Is that left heel would need to lift. I would need to take the right knee to the nose and then start to shift your shoulders forward. And then I'm as tucked in as possible to try to get that foot through. So let's do a practice for each. So we're going to gonna start with right, so right leg up. Lift up the left heel, curl the right knee to the nose. Let's try to shift shoulders forward in slow step. Then we're gonna try to reverse out of that super slow. So lift the toes up, bring the shoulders back, go down, foot up, and right foot to the earth. Let's try left. Left leg floats. Lift up the back heel, that gives us an inch or two. Bring knee to the nose, shift the shoulders forward. Soft land. Good. Slow reverse back out. Good, and then left foot down. We'll start a sequence here from right leg doing the same thing. So float. And the end of the chest. Slow step. Once that right foot is forward, right arm just slowly kind of unravels its way up to a twist up to the side. So it's not immediately getting there. It's almost like you never quite find the finish point. Good. Start to bring that right hand back down. Once it's returned to the block, the back heel slides in until the heel crests all the way flat to the ground. And then similar thing with the front leg. We're going from this bent shape, slowly towards straight as if there's never quite an end spot. So from one breath to the next, we're just listening, kind of playing with all those muscle fibers of the hamstring. Just allowing ourselves to kind of, almost like, I don't know, tuning a fiddle. It's like we're just kind of playing with it. We're listening to it. We're just seeing, okay, is there a little bit more space the next breath? One thing you can play with too is engage or contract quad to allow hamstring to relax even more. So that would look like the kneecap lifting just a little bit. Good. Leg is about as straight as it'll go today. 2 more breaths. And we're going to slowly do an unraveling towards standing split as if there's never an end. So the blocks can go forward about a foot. And then it's like this left foot never finds its end. It just continues to lift, lift, lift. A little note as the torso drops down, that creates more space for the leg to lift. Okay, so try to find one more breath of lift. And then kind of like when we did the step through, start to bring the left knee into the nose. It's almost like a flamingo. We're going to try to stand balancing like that. So bump the hands a little bit backwards on the block until you feel like the weight of your body is over your legs. And then you just roll up. Good. Cross this left thigh over, left elbow under. Beautiful. Release, feet to the ground. Take a nice slow flow. So circle up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Planting the hands to travel back to plank. This one's super key. The chaturanga is extra slow. That makes it really hard if you need to drop to the knees to make that slowness possible. Okay. Run as slow as you can. Take that slow cobra. And then we're setting up and down dog. Right away, keep the blocks underneath. Do a couple more practice steps through. Blocks under the hands, down dog, hips high. So let's start our practice with left. Left sleeves up. Back heel lifts, throw the knee to the nose, shoulder shift forward, step soft. Try to reverse that as slow as possible. Left foot and down. Right leg lifts. Slow step forward. Good. Try to reverse. And then the left leg. To do the sequence, float it up. Curl it in. Slow step through. Left arm slowly unravels up to the sky. Good. All the way down. Back heel slides in until the feet flat on the ground. That slow journey, the front leg. It's like there's never an end. There's never a spot where there it is, it's straight now. Like we're constantly listening to the muscle fibers. Trying to get each breath a little bit deeper through hamstrings than the previous. Take a little bit of engagement of the quad. Kneecap lifting a little bit. Sometimes that includes some of those last muscle fibers that we're trying to resist. And slow lifting up to stand. Split the blocks more forward. Like the right leg never quite makes it there. It's slowly lifting and lifting. Torso's lowering and lowering. Kind of counterbalance your own weight. Try to bend that right knee in underneath you like a flamingo. Keep the fingers locked back on the floor until you're weighted with your body and you can roll up. Once you're up, right thigh wraps over, right up under. Beautiful, it's all good. Some days the balance is like, nope, not on this side today. Okay, so unwind. This time as we go through that slow flow, let's pause when we get our belly to the earth. So, up. Let's come lower down. Half lift. Lowering the hands to the flat, travel back to plank or kneeling plank. Try to go as slowly as you're capable of, lowering belly to the earth. Good. So once we're here, let's do one block a little bit further away. We're just going to use one block and move in the way. Okay. So block out in front of us. We're going to try to keep the block off the ground, lifting it up high, at the same time that the legs are also lifting. So I'll guide you through where we're headed after. I'll get you all set up. Good. Okay. So, when you're ready, lift the block off the ground and legs. Good. Shift the block into the left hand. Left hand slowly goes to the side like an airplane. And then pivot it around, set the block on the glutes. Left hand returns back forward. Right hand slowly goes to the side. Picks up the block. All the way forward. To the front with both hands on it. Try to hold for 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Just relax for a moment. So much harder to go slow. Much more strength accessible. Beautiful efforts. So we're going to try to do the same thing one more time, just the circles going the other way. So you're ready. I'm going to block up in front of us. Try to lift. Right hand to the block. Side airplane. Block to the glutes. Right arm returns all the way forward. Left arm Goes to the side, grab the block, forward, both hands on, 3, 2, 1, amazing, relax, stack your hands, let your forehead rest down. Give your body a couple of breaths for the muscles and the heart rate to just calm, slow. We're doing good. We're gonna stay for a couple more breaths. If it's like things are still really hard, your heart rate is still going really fast. Eventually, when you feel like you're ready to move on, we'll scoop the blocks in close. Send them up in those same 2 spots up at the top. Got one more sequence for each side. So lifting up from the down dog shape. Good. When you're set up, right leg floats. The slow step through. When you get there, right arm floats up to sky. And back down. The back heel goes to the ground. Slowly rise up, warrior 1. Nice inhale. Exhale. Start lifting up, warrior 2. Keep it open. With warrior 2, we'll gradually head up into extended side angle. So perhaps you can block today. Block scooped in closer to the ankle. You can set the fingers or the whole palm down on it. You choose the height. Then it's like the top hand never quite arrives. Goes through the shoulder joint. Gradually going forward, forward, forward. Just continue to stretch. Good. And then slow rise up, warrior 2. Slow reverse onto the back leg. So set it left fingers down. And then it's like this top hand never quite arrives. It's on stretching and stretching and stretching. Beautiful. Warrior 2. Now it's like a figure Y. The hands are floating. They're both coming to this front angle. So you choose if your back is aggravated, go a lot more almost stacked upright. If you're doing okay, you can go a lot lower down. You choose the angle. But both arms are kind of like squeezing inward. Figure Y. Hold one more inhale. Exhale, open back up, warrior 2. Then that figure Y to the back. Both arms up. See how far back you can lean. Good. One more inhale. Exhale. Back open. Warrior 2. We'll take a moment to play with half moon, slowly heading to it. So if you know you want block, the right hand can grab the block already. We're going to slowly head to it. So some of us might just pause for the lowest start. Might start to tilt halfway and see if your core can pause. Might tilt a little further. Eventually, when you do land, keep the back leg lifting. This top shoulder lifting. Like everything, or rather nothing has. So one more inhale. Exhale, let's just relax down, forward fold. For here at the top, it might be nice to stack both blocks on top of one another. Sometimes here, what I'll do is I'll try to get my forehead or the crown of my head to go down onto the blocks. So depending on how tall you are and how flexible you are, you might change some of the block heights, like medium, small. But ultimately, I love this one because it's restful, it's supportive, but yet it makes my body have to go longer to try to get my head to relax down. Good. Sliding the blocks off to the side. Nice half lift. Exhale, hands plant down. We're either squeezing the blocks in, going straight to the down dog, or taking a slow flow. Back to plank. If you're tired, going slow, you can drop to knees, chaturanga, that's fine. Nice slow cobra. Using the blocks for the down dog. One more side of that when we get there. So whenever you're situated, left floats. Slowly curl the knee into the chest. See how slow you can step through. And left hand floats up to the side. And back down. Back heel to the earth. Slow rise up. 1. Inhale. Exhale, open up warrior 2. Extended side angle, maybe using fingers on a block in front of that front ankle. The other arm never quite makes it to its end. Continuously stretching. Good. Slow reverse up to warrior 2. Back fingers to back leg. And this top arm never quite makes its destination. Slow rise up. Figure wide to the forward angle. The arms squeezing in, almost like we had a huge invisible block we're trying to squeeze with our palms. Good, back open, warrior 2. And the back angle with that figure wide. And open back out. Some of us might use blocks, some of us not. Traveling to half moon pose, maybe the back foot hops in a little bit. We start to play with the figure, kind of star pose, and with the balance. Maybe the hands go like halfway down. Another point down until eventually they land. When they do land, that's not the end. The back leg continues to lift. Top arm continues to open, shoulder, reach, leg still lifting. And we're inhale, exhale, relax down, forward fold. Maybe same thing with the blocks stacked, or if reaching floor is super easy, you could even come up and stand on one of the blocks and see if you can still touch the floor. Breath on a block, go ahead and drop down, blocks off to the sides. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. Either step straight back to the down dog or take a flow. So be the last flow of the day. Nice and slow. Good, building up that strength. Good. So we take this down dog, no blocks this time. Let's just see how far we can step that foot forward in slow motion without any assistance of the block height. It's okay if it's not far because we don't need it to be for where we're going. So right leg starts to float up super high. Start to lift up the back heel. Curl the right knee into the nose. Core curl in tight, shoulders shift forward. And just see how far forward you can land the foot. Wherever it is, it's okay. Drop the back knee down. And this is where we're headed, toward splits or toward half splits. So one option is a block on each hand, just rest here. One of my favorite things to do when I'm working towards splits with 2 blocks is scoot myself to the point where I can rest my weight and just sit on the block. So sometimes it's nice to start off with a tall height. The other block is like a cane. Sit here. Sometimes if you're at one height for a while, you realize, okay, I think I can go deeper. So you don't have to, but you lower down another height of the block. Whatever height we can maintain, let's try to give out 5 more breaths. If it's okay to come out early, if your muscles are like, oh, I think I pushed it too far. So 3, 2, 1. So it's going to be slow coming out. We don't want to force it. So sometimes I'll just get my hands in and then my hips back a little bit. And I'll just continue to swing that straight leg off to the side. I like to kind of shake the hamstring out after it's been stretching so long. But a couple of good movements. Good. Got one more side when you're ready. Downward facing dog. Left leg will start to reach. Just notice, going slow motion, how far can I step? But it's okay wherever it lands because we're dropping the back knee down, so it doesn't matter too much. Good. So playing with the same thing, you can just stay half splits, one hand on each block. If you scoot forward to the point where it's comfortable to sit on one of the blocks, let your hamstring rest. I personally love this because I can stay here so much longer. And a lot of times, time actually is one of the most important keys to getting the hamstring longer because time helps the fascia, some of those connective tissues, to start to grow longer rather than just stretching the muscular area. Obviously, no forcing. This could be the perfect height for today. Maybe you know in your body to switch heights. One more drop down. About 5 more good breaths, right? Inhale. Exhale. Use your core to scoot you back just a little bit. And maybe just keep the leg straight as it swivels through the side, all the way back. Just shake it out. Good. Just because the hamstrings are so long at this point, let's take one more little stretch. Do the same stretch we did at the beginning. Just see if our distance maybe has increased at all during class. So, right foot out, left foot tucked in. If you think that it's still the same height-ish, grab the block the same way. You could turn the block to make it even further if you want to just attempt it. It's up to you. That reach up to the sky, and as you swing forward, just see how much you can capture that foot. It tends to be easiest if whatever block height you're using, your fingers can curl around the end of it. So if your current height cannot quite curl, let's bump it down. More inhale for this one. Exhale to release. Let's try out the second side. Just guess what height you think you're gonna want. Breathe up high. Try to catch it. Occasionally there's people that can do the full block height, but that's really far. So it's not that frequent that I see. Good, and as we release, so for me, even harder trying to get both legs straight, try to capture both of them. Just kind of a test to see if we can. Maybe it's, for me, it's definitely back to that small height. Let's see about capture. Good. So if this is getting to a really good spot, you can feel amazing things stretching. Feel free to breathe a little bit longer. At any point that you're ready to relax out, you're welcome to start your journey towards Shavasana. So you might do some last seated stretches. You might do some last stretches laying on your back. Kind of your personal journey, just listening to your body, knowing, and just kind of tuning into what your body needs from where it's able to comfortably relax into Shavasana. No rush to get into Shavasana, that restful pose, but only getting there when you're ready. Obviously, like I said, no rush to be in Shavasana. Keep on moving. Some of us are already there, so all you have to do today is just focus on a slow, deep breath. Just maintain the slow pace that we've established through the whole class. Helping the body learn. It doesn't have to be so speedy Gonzalez, it's just racing here and there all the time. Slowly begin to deepen our inhales, exhales. Introduce little movements back to the toes, ankles on the wrists, stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually take the next fetal position out to one side. Taking a few extra breaths like this to be with our body. Be tuned into just this moment. How it feels, how the breath is, how the body is. After another breath or two, rising up to a comfortable seated place. Here with hands in our heart, to connect one more time back to this idea of slowing down. Sometimes it's nicer to go on a slow, windy country road than to just be speeding down the interstate, trying to get from one place to the next. Sometimes it's nice to slow down when we're eating, we're really tasting every bite that we're putting in our mouth. Sometimes it's nice to slow down when we're strengthening our core, really feeling the core hold us there. We're slowing down when we're stretching, allowing the muscles to really become comfortable being long. Slowing down has so many benefits. So perhaps that idea of playing with the idea of slowing down just a little bit might lead us into the rest of this beautiful day. So with this to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of oh, deep inhale now. We be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.